You don't need leave, you can just take them.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to make some comments on this report. I haven't had time to look at it in depth because it's obviously only just been tabled, but I do want to take note of the in particular the committee's comments on the Social Services and Other Legislation Amendment Bill, number 1. People in this place won't be surprised that I'm taking a deep interest in this matter. And the committee, in its previous report, in a previous committee report to the Parliament, raised a number of issues with this, and this report is with this particular bill, and this report is in particular looking at the minister's response. And I'm particularly interested in the committee's view on compatibility and the right to equality and non-discrimination and the potential indirect discrimination against women. The committee requested that the Minister for Social Services the Minister for Social Services to provide advice on the compatibility of each of the schedules, the rights to equality and non-discrimination, in particular whether the measures are aimed at achieving a legitimate objective, there is a rational connection between the measures and the objective, and the measures are proportionate to that measure. The Minister responded to the effect that the proposed changes affect all recipients regardless of their gender and are aimed at ensuring that social security is targeted, sustainable, consistent over the long term. Said the measures will ensure ongoing assistance is targeted to those who need it most, and that the impacts are sufficiently small as to be proportionate to the objective of preserving access to the payment system over the long term, and furthermore a per-child parent supplement will become available for single-parent families, and that's articulated in the bill. The committee's response thanks the Minister for his response, but notes that non-discrimination and equality are fundamental components of international human rights law and essential to the exercise and enjoyment of economic, social, cultural rights, in particular Article 2.2 of the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Rights, and requires each state party to guarantee that the rights enunciated in the present covenant will be exercised without discrimination of any kind as to race, colour, sex, language, religion, political or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth or other status. And then they went on to quote the Committee of Economic, Social and Cultural Rights notes that non-discrimination is an immediate and cross-cutting obligation in the Covenant, and Article 2.2 requires state parties to guarantee non-discrimination in the exercise of each of the economic, social and cultural rights enshrined in the Covenant, and can only be applied in conjunction with these rights. It is to be noted that discrimination constitutes any distinction, exclusion, restriction or preference or other differential treatment that is directly or indirectly based on the prohibited grounds of discrimination and which has the intention or effect of nullifying or impairing the recognition, enjoyment, exercise or equal footing of the Covenant rights. The committee went on to say discrimination may be either direct or indirect. Indirect discrimination may occur when a requirement or condition is neutral on its face but has a disproportionate or unintended, and this is really critical, has a disproportionate or unintended negative impact on particular groups. The committee notes the Minister's advice that these measures affect all recipients regardless of their gender. While the measures therefore appear neutral on their face, the committee remains concerned that there may be a greater impact on women than men, as women are more likely to be recipients of social security and particularly payments provided to the primary caregiver of children. Accordingly, the committee seeks further advice of the Minister as to whether the measures in the bill are compatible with the rights to equality and non-discrimination on the basis of gender and family responsibilities. When you bear in mind that overwhelming number of single parents are women that will be affected by the measures in this bill, in particular the family tax benefit changes and the fact that it cuts off when a child is 6, of course women are going to be disproportionately affected by the legislation that the committee has been considering and that we have spoken of on many occasions. I hope the Senate takes note of the findings of this report. I look forward to the Minister's further response because, quite frankly, I fail to see how the Minister can not see that this will have it can be indirect discrimination against women in this particular manner. And of course, there's another of other measures contained in the budget measures that will also disproportionately impact on women. So the accumulation of these impacts will significantly impact on women. As I said, I look forward to seeing the committee's next report to see what the minister's response is, and quite frankly, how the minister can justify in any way at all the impacts that these proposals will have on women, and in particularly on single parents, when you also particularly consider that they have also had foisted on them the cuts that were made by both the Howard government and the Gillard government by dumping them onto New Start in single parents. And as I have repeatedly said in this place, they are predominantly single mothers that have been adversely affected. This is yet another cut that they will have to bear, and that, of course, then impacts directly on their children. I look forward to seeing the next report.
So is the motion put by Senator Siewert agreed to? Yes.